So what type of podcaster am I? I'm going to find out at podscore.io. Why don't you follow along? Let's start this quiz. Am I ready? Ready. Here we go. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Kidding. This is going to be amazing. Plus, I'll check in just like this with some funny and cool remarks. Alex Sanfilippo, founder of Podpros. Love you, bro. This is looking great so far. Have you defined and written down your why reason for your podcast? Yes, I have, of course. All of my clients do this as well. It's important. Have you defined the avatar/ideal listener that your podcast serves? So this is a tricky thing, I think, for podcasters. As you learn your podcast, as you learn community, as you learn yourself, you do. But yeah, I think that I'm pretty clear. I'm serving all of you entrepreneurs and professionals that want to disrupt your industries and survive. So yes, I know who I serve. What is your primary goal for your podcast? Full-time plus create financial freedom. Yes. Add value, serve a niche audience. Yeah, I want that too. Change the world with my content. Yeah, I kind of want to do that too. Expand my influence and following. Yep. I need to set a goal for my podcast. Raise awareness for cause, business, other unlisted goal for my podcast. No, my podcast is just for fun. All these things are important. I'm going to go with full-time plus create financial freedom. We'll go with that. Although that's a tough one. I mean, there's so many benefits to podcasting. I'll go with that one though. Okay. Do you struggle with imposter syndrome? No, not a struggle for me because which by the way, when you first start podcasting, imposter syndrome is a real thing, but that doesn't come from in here. It comes from out there. It comes from all the haters. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. How would you rate your level of self-discipline? I'm not David Goggins level, extremely high self-discipline. I'll go with high. I'm pretty disciplined. Do you release new episodes on a set schedule? Yes, I do. Plus, I'm releasing extra content on the After Hours Entrepreneur, so don't miss it. What keeps you committed to your podcast and prevents you from quitting/pod fading? Okay, achieving a specific financial goal. Yeah, I mean, that's as long as the money keeps coming in, I'll keep podcasting. Yeah, kind of, not really. I mean, I do make about $1,000 a month in my podcast, but that's not my priority. At least not right now. Consistently releasing value-adding episodes until reaching a specific number of episodes. No, not interested in that. I've been there, done that. By the way, that's how I first started podcasting. I said, I'm going to release an episode every week for a year, even if I get 0 listeners. And at the end of that, I had listeners. I had started developing a business and I kept going. So if you're at that point, do that. Just go for 1 year and see what happens. Reaching a certain number of downloads. Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure I'm getting downloads, increasing visits, subscribers on social media, etc. I need to make a podcasting commitment. My podcast just for fun. What prevents me from pod fading? I think I'm going to go with achieving a specific financial goal, but it's not really the money from the podcast that drives me. I'm going to go with consistently releasing value-adding episodes until reaching a specific number of episodes, then reevaluating. I'll go with that, although I don't plan on quitting anytime soon, but we'll go with that. Have you publicly shared the commitment goal you've made for your podcast? Yeah, I think I've made that pretty clear, especially to all the members of the After Hours Entrepreneur Pro community. Do you skip times with family, friends, or stay up late to work on your podcast? Yup. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. But I will point out that at this point in my cadence, I have a really good relationship with my wife, and we've mutually agreed on a shared vision of where we're going and a shared workload. So I'm happy with that. Do you schedule time to not work on your podcast? Yes, I schedule time to avoid podcasting for refreshment and rest. No, much of my free time is spent on getting caught up, staying ahead, not intentionally when I'm caught up. Podcasting. I'm going to go with yes. Sundays are a day of rest for me. Which best describes your feelings about your podcast? I love it. I love it. I love podcasting. I get to meet the best people. I'm talking to Neil Patel tomorrow. It's going to be so amazing. Do you envision yourself still podcasting 5 years from now? Yes, I do. Listen, podcasting is the future. It's the future of your personal brand. It's the future of media. It's the future of owning your audience. Podcasting is incredibly, incredibly important. It's the future of networking. Podcasting has so many benefits. Which describes your podcast's title and description? After Hours Entrepreneur. Fun, creative, and clever? Yes. Descriptive, so you know what it's about, who it's for before listening? Yes. It does not contain my company name. I'm going to go with descriptive. We're going to go with descriptive for that one. Which describes the format of your episode titles. Check all that apply. I craft compelling titles that accurately describe the episode. Yes. I include keywords. Yes, that's important, especially when it goes on your blog. My titles are funny and clever. No, not so much. I start titles with my episode number. No, I don't do that because it's my understanding that could kind of hurt your ranking. And you only have a limited number of space, so I don't like to waste time with episode numbers. There are benefits, though, of saying, like, go back and listen to episode 235 with Pat Flynn. So I have mixed feelings on episode or title numbers. I start titles with the name of my guest. I do, because for me, I think that's one of the easiest ways to rank your shows. Anytime someone types in my guest name, I want to show up. I include my show's episode, type, segment, season in the title. No. So we'll just go with that. Which describes the format of your episode descriptions. I craft compelling descriptions that accurately explain the episode. Sure. My descriptions include keywords. Yes, very important. Again, I only include one link. No, I include more than one link. I start descriptions with the episode number and or my guest name. Yes, I start with my guest name typically very, very early. Again, I start with the guest name in the title. I start my guest name in the description. And when it goes onto my website, I also use the guest name as the keyword, the primary keyword. I explain the episode type, segment, season at the beginning of the description. Not really. I start descriptions by briefly explaining what my podcast is about. No. I include links to everything discussed. Yes. I don't have a clear format. Oh, that's pretty clear. Which best describes the niche/focus of your podcast? I cover a broad range of topics to reach more listeners. Yes, but not really. Every episode stays in my narrow niche to serve a specific avatar. Not really there either, because disruption impacts everything. Everyone is impacted by the disruption we're seeing with AI. So I get a little bit outside of that. All content is focused on my company/brand. Every season, different topics. No, random. My focus is general. I'm still working on figuring out my niche. I'm going to go with I cover a broad range of topics, because one week I'll be talking about marketing. The next day I'll be talking about like the Hollywood strike. The next episode I'll be talking about my business and how it's growing. So I'll go with a broad range of topics to reach more listeners. How does your podcast serve listeners? It encourages and motivates, increases knowledge, provides education, raises awareness, transformation. It's fun, entertaining. I wouldn't say it's entertaining, but listen, if your podcast is not entertaining at all, you're not going to keep people. And it's kind of like all these things, which is probably a problem that it serves all these, but you've got to be raising I raise awareness for new tech. I provide education on the tech, very practical. I want to build up the community. I serve, the After Hours Entrepreneur Pro community. It's definitely motivational. I do that. Every month I'm breaking down my profit and loss. So I'm just going to check all these and just go with my first instinct. I think that's a good thing to do when you're multiple choicing it. How satisfied are you with your podcast marketing efforts and pace of growth? Completely satisfied? We're never completely satisfied. Somewhat satisfied. My show is growing, but I like to be faster. I could go with that. Not satisfied. It is growing. Growing my podcast listenership. So I'm going to go with the second one here. I'm like right on the cusp of hitting the top 200 of business. So we'll go with that one. How do you market your podcast to grow listenership? I request that my guests share the episode. Yes. Social media shorts. Yes. Although social media shorts do not grow your podcast. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. Your podcast grows your social media influence is my stance on that. Social media, multiple posts on pages, groups. Yep, I do that. Posting real life behind the scenes. Yep, I do that. Email subscribers about new episodes. Yes, I'm not as good as I could be, but I'll get better at that. Ask fans and listeners to share. You know what? I don't really do that very often, so I'm going to skip that and say no. I naturally talk about my podcast with friends and family. Yes, I'm wearing. Someone the other day just asked me, "Do you always wear that? Is that the only shirt you own?" And I'm kind of like Mark Zuckerberg with my shirt. Content SEO, full blog post for each episode. I am starting that, and that is happening within my private community for my listeners. Yep, don't really promote it with my community. Like sometimes I do though. So I'll put that. I am very good about Apple Podcast reviews. I get about 4 a month, which I think is pretty good. That's 1 a week. I think that's solid. Being on a guest on other podcasts to talk about mine. Yep. I guest on probably about 3 podcasts a week. One-on-one outreach, connect to ideal. I do not do one-on-one outreach. Interesting idea. Paid media, running ads for my podcast. Not really. I do pay for some podcast promotion, but I'm not running ads for my podcast. Posting a LinkedIn newsletter about each episode. No, but I'm posting on social media, but it's not a newsletter. IMDb credits for my episodes and guests. No, I'm not. That's a cool idea too. Other podcast growth. Sure, I'll do other because I'm doing some other things too. Podcast growth marketing is my focus. Okay. Let's keep going. I'm digging this. You got to do this too at podscore.io. Go get it done. Okay. How satisfied are you with your podcast monetization strategy revenue? Completely satisfied. I'll go with somewhat. I am monetized, but I'd like to make more. How do you monetize your podcast or plan to monetize in the future? I do advertising. I charge guests for appearances. Converting guests into clients. Yes, my podcast increases my authority, which I monetize. I sell products and services for my podcast production agency. It attracts people to my mastermind program. I do not charge for premium content. I do not sell digital products, although that's something I'm looking at. Perfectly aligned sponsors. Okay, yep, we'll go with that. Do you have a list of future topics to cover on your podcast? Yes, I do. I keep a thriving running. Every week, there's new AI that comes out, so there's infinite stuff to talk about. Do you have a consistent episode duration? You know what? No, it varies. I'm keeping most of my episodes short, but sometimes go a little bit longer. So no, my show varies. I like to test new things. I like to try new things. Which best describes your feelings toward the work involved in creating repurposed content, sharing your episodes? It's a lot of work. I find it overwhelming to keep up with. That, I think, is the reason why most people quit. It's fun. I do as much as it is not fun. It is not my passion. I see results on episode. I aim to be active on every social media. I don't seem to get any results from this, no matter how much I try. I don't have time. So this is interesting. I see results and have a set plan strategy for repurpose content. That's what I'm gonna go with here, because I have an entire team. I have a production agency. That's what I do. I help thought leaders launch, automate, and grow podcasts, baby. MarkSavantMedia.com. Go get yours. Come on, let me help you. Do you aim to produce evergreen content for your podcast? Yes. I avoid sharing dates, current events. I do aim, but often things come up that are happening in my life. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one because I hit current events. Some of my stuff is evergreen, some is not. I mix it up. Do you have documentation training and a detailed checklist for every step of your podcast production? Yes, I do. Do you feel stressed or overwhelmed by the production process of your podcast? No. I have systems, process to know exactly what I do. Because of this, there's little to no stress involved. Yep, I'll go with that. Are you using software services tools to help simplify? Yes, I do. And if you're watching this channel, then you have access too, because I'm sharing all the tools that I use right on this channel. Do you review your podcast production process to find ways to simplify, streamline, improve it? All the time. I'm giving new AI tools to my team all the time. How do you streamline and automate the podcast process? Booking website to find guests / be a guest. I do that straight through Podmatch with my boy, Alex Sanfilippo. But honestly, I get so many guest requests, it's not a problem. Software for automatic calendar scheduling. Yes, I do. Calendly. Premium paid podcast hosting provider. I use Buzzsprout. That's my main squeeze. Project management software. I use Monday. I use Slack. I use tons of AI. Modern editing software. I mean, I honestly don't even know what my team's doing right now. We're trying new things all the time. So I'm just going to go with both. Software for helping get Apple Podcast reviews. I do. It's more of like systems in place to get Apple Podcast reviews. High quality, not Zoom. Yep. Other shoes for streamlining. Yep. All that. How do you handle podcast editing? I delegate editing to a team member / company. Yup, that is the way to do it. And that's what we do at marksavantmedia.com. marksavantmedia.com. Let us automate your podcast. Does someone help you with your podcasting tasks at work? Yes, I've delegated most of the administrative parts of podcasting. Yes. With your podcast, is it time or money the most valuable asset? Time. Boom, not close. Time. How do you talk to your listeners? Via one-on-one video calls, ongoing and private community, chat bots, automation, AI. I do some of that. Yeah, I use some AI with messaging, direct messaging on social media. Sure. Yep. Through my website contact form. Yep. By emailing me directly. Yep. Through other unlisted members methods. Sure. I mean, anybody that wants to talk to me, I'm willing to talk. Hit me up. mark@marksavantmedia.com. My interaction with listeners is random also. Yeah, that happens. Talking to listeners is not my priority. No, it is a priority. I want to talk to you. I want to know what you want to hear. Cool. What stats / data do you review to evaluate to determine how to improve your listeners? I look at download numbers. I look at monthly download numbers. I look at demographics. I listen total listens in the first 7 days. Consumption completion percentages. I can get that on, this data is really poor, but you can get that on iTunes. I look at that sometimes. I'm unsure. I never review any status data. No, you got to review your data. How do you mention your podcast in conversations? I don't know. You have to. I knew a guy who drove Uber, and every single person that got into his Uber car got a card to his show. First Class Fatherhood. Shout out to Alex at First Class Fatherhood. I reference takeaways from episodes that support the conversation. Yeah, I do that. I'm awkward. No, I bring it up a lot. I'm always talking about my podcast in general. I'm not confident in my podcast. I'm just going to say I always talk about it all the time. Look at me. I'm wearing my shirt here, bro. I'm wearing my shirt. Do you stay informed on how podcast listeners are changing / evolving? Yes, I learn from trusted sources. I read the discoveries. No, I keep up on it. Do you intentionally work on improving your speaking skills as a podcast host? All the time. All the time. That is one of the biggest values you get from podcasting is improving your speaking skills. Which mic and camera do you use? Microphone, laptop, no. Microphone, high quality, dynamic microphone. Camera, full 1080p. Which best describes your tendencies as a podcaster? I'm a perfectionist when it comes to creating and sharing my content so it can take more time. No, I'm devoted to excellence, always doing my best, right? But I'm okay with imperfection. I'm chill, relaxed. No, I have low. No. So I think this is a really important question because perfection paralysis will kill your show. It makes it impossible to produce. You got to strive for excellence, but you've got to be okay with some mistakes here and there. It's just, a little typo here and there. You survive. You put it out. Done is better than perfect, for sure. Which podcast educational resources do you learn from? I listen to Podcasting Made Simple. I do. I subscribe to Podfest Messenger. I don't know that I do. I don't know that I do, actually. I probably should, though. I listen to others. Actually, I want to, so I'm going to take a quick snippet here and sign up after this video is done. All right? Okay. I listen to other podcasts about podcasting. Yep. Kevin Schmidlin's got a good one, too. I subscribe to other unlisted podcasting newsletters. I do. When I want to learn something podcast related, I research it directly. I do that as well. And, just in the podcasting community, you're always picking up new stuff. But I need to subscribe to these newsletters specifically. I might actually be on the Podfest newsletter. I know. Which podcasting community events you participated in? I've been involved in several pod talks. Podfest is great. I'm there. Podcast movement, I am not there. Y'all got to give me a speaking gig. I would be in the place. You don't give me a speaking gig, I'm not going to show up, man. Podcast show London, local podcast meetups. Yep, I've done that. Other in-person or virtual. Yep. Community Podpros community. I'm in the Podpros community. Podcasters Paradise. I think that's John Lee Dumas's. PodFam on Facebook group. Yep, Buzzsprout Facebook group. I'm in my podcast networks community. I have my own. That's right. Other podcast community listed here. I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups. I don't attend any podcast. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving. This is fun. You guys got to, I hope you're doing this with me. I hope you're doing this along with me. Do you have an accountability partner? Do I have an accountability partner as a podcaster? Kind of, but it's not been verbalized or made official. How do you explore partnerships, collaborations, and opportunities with other podcasters? Virtual coffees. I hate virtual coffees. Like anytime I go into a call, there has to be a reason. There has to be a purpose for that call. You just waste so much time getting into random calls with people. And if you don't know why you're getting on a call, it's because they're going to sell you something, which may be a good thing. Maybe a good thing if you're interested in what they're selling. That's why you want to know why you're getting on the call in the first place. They fill out my form to share details, and I decide if it's worth the time. Okay. I mostly communicate via messages/emails. I exchange video, audio messages. I want to connect with other podcasters. Mainly messages and email is how I figure that out. Do you regularly engage in helping newer/aspiring podcasters? Yes. Yes, all the time, baby. I want to help you. I want to see more voices magnified and amplified. So, yeah, hit me up, mark@marksavantmedia.com. I want to talk to you. How do you find podcast guests? My podcast doesn't have guests, no. Outreach to my network, yes. I have a dream guest list that I contact. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just picked up Eric Sue and Neil Patel. I've been working on them for years, so I'm stoked about bringing them on. Social media post, I do that. That can work. Through recommendations/referrals, sometimes. Podmatch.com, no, although it's a good way of getting on shows. Matchmaker, Guestio. Yep, I've used Guestio to find podcast guests. Podbooker. One of the things I like about Guestio is more guests are willing to pay to be on their show, which helps share the production expense. Other recommendation, mass email server. You know what's interesting? Why is this not on here? I get guest requests. I get like 24 guest requests, 3 guest requests every month. I'm flooded with guest requests. Probably because my show is in the top 1%, so I show up on a lot of lists. But I get invited on. I get so many guest requests. It's pretty obscene. How do you get Apple Podcast reviews? I ask my listeners. Yep. I have not done the pod lottery. I got to try to, Alex, I got to get on that, bro. Rate this podcast. I have not done that. You know what? I got to save this. This is some gas right here. Let's save that screenshot. I want some more podcast reviews, bro. Other review software. Yeah. Everyone that goes into my calendar, I ask to do that. So with all the calendars, I convert probably 1 or 2 a week. Review swaps. Sure. I've never paid podcast promoters for reviews, rate this podcast, but these look like good options. How do you organize/manage your podcast production? Monday is what I do, but I also use Google. No, Monday is how I do that. Which AI software do you use to help with content creation? I've used Capsho. I've used ChatGPT. I have not used Copy AI. I've tried Jasper, didn't love it. Listener FM, no. Podium Swell, other AI. These are more. I got to save this too. This is some more gas here, yo. I'm going to save this. So this is, listen, like I said, always learning. I'm going to save that too. All right, let's keep going. My favorites probably video.ai, Swell is great. CapCut's a good one. Yeah, there's a bunch. Which hosting provider do you use for your podcast? I use Buzzsprout. Which software do you use to edit your podcast? My team does it. I think that they're using Descript right now. I think they're using a combination of Descript and Adobe Audition. I'll go to Descript. Oh, someone edits it for me. I should have written that. Why? Can I go back? Yes, I can. I could go back. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for the undo button. Someone edits my podcast for me. Yes, thank you. Which software do you use to record remote interviews? I use Riverside.fm. And I'll put a link below that'll give you a discount if you want to use Riverside.fm. It is the best way to record your podcast. It's not close. What software do you use to make your podcast episodes shareable and easy for listeners to access? Which software do you use to make your podcast episodes shareable and easier for users to access? Apple, Spotify, other players. Yeah, Apple, Spotify, and other players is what I'm doing. And I'm starting to put all of it on my blog, which is maybe not exactly what Alex is looking for, but let's see here. Oh, we're 100% complete. Oh, I can't wait to find out. I'll be right back with you. I'm going to type in this info. Okay, so we typed it in. Mark Savant, Mark at marksavantmedia.com. I've released 358 episodes, and my show is After Hours Entrepreneur. And I confirm, I will not be discouraged. Whatever the score is, I will not be discouraged. Let's hit start, and I will see you over my email inbox to see what score we got, all right? Okay, so we've got our results here. Let's check out what our results are. Okay, Podscore. I'm a workflow wonderkind. You excel in the area of organization and processes for your podcast and mostly produce a stress-free pay. That is what I do. That is me. That's what I do. Thanks, Alex. It looks like you know me. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Snap a screenshot. I will do that. Mark, based on data, here's where your podcast's at. 68%. 68%? What the heck, bro? Let's keep going. Don't be discouraged by your score, even if lower than expected. We all started 0. Okay, that's cool. So clarity and purpose, 60%. Okay. Self-discipline, 90%. Self-care. Self-care. You ain't getting more care than me. I'm going to pull up my stomach here. No, I'm not going to do that. This isn't that kind of stream. This isn't that kind of show. Self-care, 70%. Niche and delivery, 69%. Growth and monetization, 35%. Fair. Content strategy and plan. Okay, so there's some clarity stuff here. Organization and process, 100%. Team automations, 95%. Connection with listeners, 73%. Abilities as a host. Podcast toolkit, 36%. Very, very interesting. I'm going to have to look into this. Now it's your turn. Go to podscore.io and get your own Podscore. And then type in the comments below. What do you think? Is this bullcrap? I feel like it should be higher than 68%, but I'll take it. I'm ready and able to grow. You know what I'm saying? We're here to grow. All right, thanks for watching. Go fill yours out and then type what you got in the comments. Like to hear it. Peace.